Welcome to the Shield Football Podcast. I'm your host, Fredo. With me today is that boy, Jay. We got that boy, DC. What's up, guys? How y'all been, man?
Good, Fredo. What's going on, baby?
Man, not much, man. Just right here. Hell of a weekend. The draft, man. 2024 officially under the books, man. So, gentlemen, man, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to deep dive on our teams with the Titans, Texans, and the Cowboys. Very excited to talk about that. Other than that, what was surprising things that happened in the draft for y'all?
Of course, everybody in the world is talking about Atlanta, what they did, the nonsense that they did. We'll probably get deeper into that later. Yeah. And then just all the surprise picks, all the movement. It was an entertaining draft all around. I love the draft every year.
Yeah, absolutely. DC, how about you, man?
Pretty much the same. People who went higher or lower than we thought they actually should go, and a lot of head-scratching things that happened this weekend. But hey, at least we got a football fix for a little while anyway with the draft. We got plenty to talk about. Yeah,
absolutely, man. I enjoyed that we got together on Thursday night. Mm-hmm. We went to this nice little restaurant. It was awesome. It was cool, man. It was cool hanging out with y'all, man. I appreciate that. But that was day one right there. So let's jump into it, man. Let's talk about our teams, man. So let's start with the Titans. DC, your Titans, man, had overall, was it 8 picks?
About 7, I think.
7? All right, 7 picks. That right there, that was pretty good. And PFF, as of right now, man, they grade y'all as a solid B, man. Do you agree with that, DC?
That's about where I had them at, for sure. We addressed a lot of needs, but we could see that from the jump when the Chargers took off, which was the number one guy on our board, we had to settle for Latham for the consolation prize. But I don't really mind that. And of course, the Sweat pick, when I read about, they really were interested in him. Just about a week and a half ago, they flew here. He's from Huntsville. The GM and the head coach, they flew down and visited with his mom and his sibling and his grandparents. And they talked about the DWI and all that situation and what's going to be expected of him going forward. So they really wanted the kid bad. But the problem is, it was a reach because we didn't have a third round pick.
Yeah.
So if you didn't take him then, when the fourth round came, he wasn't going to be available to you. Yeah. And I think it should work. I think he'll be okay. He just got to keep his weight under control.
Yeah.
You put him next to Big J, and I think it's going to work out for the run defense. It'll be. And, of course, Harold Landry at middle linebacker, he's going to be excited, too, to keep them guards off of him.
Yeah.
And the Cedric Gray, the linebacker out of North Carolina, I was really happy about that one. We needed another linebacker, and the guy's good in space. So he's one of the more faster ones. He's good in coverage, too.
Yeah.
And with the way the NFL is going, you need middle linebackers at some point that can cover a little bit because the way they bringing these tight ends in, they're really receivers, but they call them tight ends. So you're going to need some linebackers that can move in space like that. But and the receiver, Tulane Jackson, I was really excited. Guy can go. He's fast, and he had some other stuff that the reason he failed. But I really do like that pickup. You can get him back with his teammate, Tajay Spears.
Yeah.
So the cornerback from Louisville, not bad, but we just got 2, so he'll be one of the backups. So you don't know how that's going to go, how it's going to turn out. But overall, the safety, that's definitely a need. The kid from Miami. If I didn't get him, I wanted the kid out of Alabama,
James Williams.
Yeah, but I wanted Bullet from Alabama.
Yeah.
But our draft wasn't set up. We didn't have that third round pick, so it was either going to be Sweat or Bullet. But I really wanted the kid from Alabama.
Yeah.
But so we didn't get it. But that's okay. I'm okay with Williams in the 7th round like that. And of course, the linebacker out of Michigan, he'll come in and be a backup special teams at some point. He may get a little playing time, but overall, I'm still excited to see what the year is going to bring. The draft is, I'm okay with it. Like I said, the only one that I had a problem with, like Jay was saying, was Sweat, and I understand why they did that because when you don't have a third round pick, and there's no reason. You ain't got many picks as is. There's no reason to trade one of your 7th round picks to try to package to get another third round. You know? So we're pretty solid where we at because of basically the offseason.
Yeah,
they filled a bunch of needs in the offseason before that didn't make the draft as drastic. Have as many holes when you get 2 cornerbacks. Now you got Rudolph as the backup quarterback, and you got 2 good running backs, and you got receivers. So, and you went out there and you addressed the tackle position. A lot of people say Latham, he plays right tackle. Well, that's fine, but he was recruited as a left tackle out of high school. But the problem is he went to Alabama, and there was already a left tackle there.
Yeah.
So he filled in and he had to play right. So anytime you can find those guys that are versatile like that, it's always a plus for the team. Because people don't realize how difficult that is to do. That's like telling you going from right-handed to left-handed. Because once you switch sides, everything changes.
Yeah.
Everything is the foot you step with first. All that stuff is the total opposite. So I'm looking forward to see how it works out. But if it does, I think the offensive line is going to be set now. Yeah. Well, after getting Skoronski last year, and now we got this guy in Cushenberry from the Broncos. I think it's going to be set. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't work out for y'all as a Texas fan. But overall, man, like I like these picks, man. I understand why y'all picked up Sweat that early. You didn't have him in the 3rd round, man. But to me, that was a good pickup right there. PFF hasn't rated above 90 when it comes to the run defense and pass rusher. So, man, that right there, man, just it's worth it. It's a steal. It was a steal that you had to reach for, and so I don't blame y'all for that. And we knew that once the Joe all got taken away from y'all, what was it, by the 5th pick? Yeah, man. So I could tell like you was kind of hoping that the Chargers weren't going to go that route, but they did. So, yeah, so that was a steal right there. I know it got you upset. But, man, Latham, man, like you said, hopefully they can find him either the right side or left side. But you prefer to have him on what side, DC?
I wish left side.
Left side?
But if he can play right, that's fine.
Yeah.
With a right-handed quarterback, of course, you always want the left tackle to be the one. And they're saying between these first 2 picks, they're over 700 pounds. Yeah. Between Latham and Sweat, between the first 2 picks, man.
Yeah, and overall, man, like I feel like the Titans got a solid draft out of this, even though they only had seven draft picks. Still solid, man. Jay?
Yeah. So, of course, the best pick is the Latham, J.C. Latham. I followed Dane Brugler. He's my favorite draft analyst, scout also. So he's got him as the number 3 tackle.
Right.
He says overall, Latham needs to clean up his inconsistent habits, but he offers elite play strength, functional football movements to stay square and overmatch his opponent. He is an ascending prospect with the talent to win a starting right tackle job as an NFL rookie, although some teams project him as a guard. So he's got that flexibility. You want to play left, he definitely can play right. We know that.
Right.
And then, of course, if all that fails, just put him in guard. Yep. Like you said, the Sweat one was kind of I would have liked them to trade back in that, to try to trade back because there's so much movement going on. I thought he would have lasted. He would have lasted till later in that round to pick up some more ammo also. And the rest are just shots in the dark. He had Sweat as the number 10 DT. Cedric Gray, linebacker out of North Carolina, number 6 linebacker in the class. So I think they did pretty good. If you look at all the analytical profiles, they come out as the 24th best draft in the league. But like you said, all the work that y'all did this offseason, I think that it's just adding in parts. Right. You didn't have to hit a home run because pretty much everything is taken care of. Yeah. So I like the thought, especially that Latham pick. Latham and Brown are the ones I love.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's move on to the next team. Y'all ready?
Sure.
All right, man. Let's go and move on to my Texans, man. So, PFF graded the Texans a B plus. Do y'all agree with that?
I would think so.
Yeah.
So what would you give it, Jay?
So Lassiter, you want to read out your?
Well, first I want to
okay.
ask if y'all agree with the grade, or what grade would y'all give it?
Probably B minus. It's gonna be a B.
Yeah.
But
It's in the
I'll
B
do a
range
B.
for sure.
Do B minus.
Yeah. All right, so let me go down the list of who the Texans drafted, man. They drafted a cornerback from Georgia, Cameron Lattiser. And they drafted him in the second round with the 42nd pick. And then in the second round, they drafted a tackle, Blake Fisher from Notre Dame. And then in the third round, they drafted safety Clem Bullock.
Caleb Bullock.
And then in the fourth round, they drafted tight end Cody Stooner. Cade Stover. Stover from Ohio State. And then at then they have a fifth round pick. So now round 6, they drafted a linebacker from Oregon, Jamal Hill. And then with another 6th round pick, they drafted running back from Louisville, Jamar Jordan. And then for the 7th round, they drafted edge rusher Solomon Bird from USC. And then in the 7th round, they drafted a defensive lineman from Auburn, Marcus Harris. And then in the 7th round, with the last pick, they drafted a tackle, Ladarius Henderson from Michigan. So all these right here, man, I feel like the Texans in the offseason I feel like this is something that they didn't want to overreach on certain players, but I was kind of hoping they were going to address the defensive lineman earlier and not towards the end. The fact that they got a tackle in the second round, that was very surprising, to be honest with you, even though we got 2 solid tackles that we just signed. But overall, the weekend, I was thinking about it. I was like, man, you know what? The injuries they had last year, man, they needed, because they had like, at one time, they had like, was it 12 players that played in the offensive line throughout the whole year, man. So I understand. And the fact that they got 2 tackles within this draft, makes you think that they want depth within it. The safety from USC, Bullock, I don't know too much about him. Can y'all collaborate on that one right there?
Yeah, give me a sec. Keep talking.
Right. So, and then we got the tight end from Ohio State. This is Stroud's homie right here. What I've heard of him, he's played when he got recruited by Ohio State. He came in as a defensive player.
Okay. So,
it was like in the last 2 years when he was with Ohio State, he converted to the tight end spot. So I seen his interview in the combine, and he's very I'm not saying like raw, but I'm saying like he ain't no punk.
Right.
He has like an edge towards him, man.
Yeah.
So I like that. He has attitude. He's gonna take no BS. So I welcome that, man, especially when you play against the defenses, man. Right here, man, I kind of low key like this pick right here, man, with Jamal Hill. He's 25 right now, man. He played 2 years in Syracuse, and then the last 3 years he played in Louisville. In the last 2 seasons, man, that's where he really exploded. In Syracuse, he didn't do too much, and then the first year in Louisville, he didn't do much neither. But the last 2 years, he was very explosive, man, and I think they could use him as a someone in a return game as well. I like him, and who else I like right here? I guess the edge rusher right here from USC. He was pretty good right here too in USC. And then the defensive tackle from Auburn. I really don't know too much about him.
Yeah.
And also the tackle from Michigan. I don't know too much about him as well. But overall, man, like I kind of hope that the Texans would have drafted more towards the defensive lineman earlier instead of a tackle. But We're gonna see what's up, man. I gotta trust Nick Casario and D'Amico Ryans on this, man.
So you were asking about the Caden Bullock.
Yeah.
He is the number 8 safety, according to Dane Brugler. Quick rundown. Overall, Bullock is a fast, twitchy athlete with split field range to overlap verticals or to spin to the post, but he needs to play with improved discipline and control to cut down his own mistakes, specifically in the run game. It says reminiscent of a leaner Trayvon Morig, who came out of TCU a couple years ago. He has NFL starting potential as his game continues to develop. He is a cornerback on some draft boards also.
Yeah. Okay. So, and overall, man, I think the Texans at this point, like they didn't have to address so much on the offensive side, but they did though, man. They addressed the tackles, tight ends, running backs. So I'm surprised they didn't take a wide receiver. To be honest with you,
I was going to ask. I thought they were going to be taking another wide receiver.
Yeah, I thought so too, and I heard that the Texans, they were rumored trying to get back into the first round. But like I feel like the trading partners didn't work out as they expected. But yeah, overall, man, I'm satisfied, man. Like
you got a favorite pick and a least favorite pick?
Okay,
for everybody.
Okay, yeah. My favorite pick, I want to say is the cornerback from Georgia. Okay. He's my favorite one out of all of them. Now I understand his speed is not that great, but they were saying that his on the field speed is better than what he did in the combine. Right. So that matters there, man. You get paid what you do on the field, and you don't get paid what you do just to put up stat numbers and stuff like that. But like the combine numbers, you get paid for what you do on the field on the NFL game Sundays, not what you do on Thursdays on combine numbers, man. So I think that one right there is my favorite one out of all these right here. And my least favorite one, I want to say it was the seventh pick on the last round of tackle.
Oh yeah, that's just a shot.
Yeah, so that's my least favorite one right there. Yeah.
For me, my favorite is the Cade Stover.
Stover?
Yeah. Another weapon for CJ. Backup for Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
I think he's going to develop into a really good tight end, especially in the scheme. If y'all can keep Slovic another year, I think he's going to be even better. I like the Lassiter pick is okay.
Yeah.
That would be probably my least favorite out of the first. I really only look at the first 4 or 5 just because past that, there's shots in the dark. It's a lot of gamble. They could be cut. You know what I'm saying? So the Lassiter one, he has really good short range speed.
Yeah.
And he does play zone. So I remember in the playoff game, you were pissed off about how much zone that they were playing. Yeah. Well, expect more zone because he's a zone corner.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the foot speed to play man.
Yeah.
So it kind of typecasts you into a zone team, especially if you put him in a nickel. I like that. Outside, I don't like that at all to play him outside. But
yeah, I think they said they're gonna play him more as a slot corner.
Yeah. So your first, my only downside of it is your first corner picked is a slot. You know what I'm saying? It's you're kind of limiting your upside with that. But K-Stuff will be my favorite out of your draft.
Okay. DC?
Mine is actually the safety from USC. Bullock. I like that a lot. And of course, when you took the corner, you addressed the need, but like you say, you slot corner.
Yeah.
You like somebody a little bit more versatile. But the tackle was head scratching to me.
Yeah.
Second round. When you draft some guys there, I would expect those guys to be pretty much getting ready to be starters.
Yeah, exactly.
You have left Tunsil and you have the other guy. So that was a head scratcher for me. But overall, I think they filled some needs. And you were talking about you wish they would have taken defensive tackle earlier.
Yeah.
When I look at that team, I think they shouldn't have drafted not one defensive lineman in the whole draft. I think that team right there is set all the way across. From the move they made in the offseason, I think they got one of probably a top 5 defensive line in the whole league. So if they would have, I wish they would have thrown darts at receivers down there in that seventh round.
Yeah.
Just in case Meechie don't work out or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Tank get hurt. But overall, not a bad draft.
Yeah.
Not a bad. Like I said, I wish I would have seen a little more receiver action than the defensive line that late in the draft.
And the Texans, man, I was like, oh shit, Kool-Aid's about to fall out on our laps.
That's what I thought was going to happen too.
I was like, oh hell yeah,
that's the one. That's the one.
So
right there.
so I think the Texans were expecting that as well. I guess this one right here was the second option right here, maybe even third.
Somebody traded up. New Orleans traded ahead of y'all.
Yeah.
To get Kool-Aid.
So stuff happens, man, but. It is what it is, man. You got now you got to trust the coaching staff to help to develop these guys, and I feel like they can, man. So I'm not tripping. So right now I'm not I'm not going to judge these players about this. That's why I'm not too hard on them right now. Is what they do on game day, man. So
and also when you look at draft grades, like everybody gets them wrong too.
Yeah,
like for y'all. The whole analytical community, when they look at consensus draft and draft compensation over expected, they have y'all as the 23rd best draft. But when you think about it, people had C grades on Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? So nobody knows.
Yeah, right.
It's about how you develop going forward on everybody's draft. Just like with DC's draft, like. The third round pick could be a Pro Bowl, All Pro. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about how D'Amico comes in. So Lassiter could be a All Pro Bowler, just depending on how his development.
Yeah. True that, man. I agree with that. All right, man. So y'all boys got anything else of the Texans?
No, that's it.
Okay. Let's move on to the boy Jerron's Cowboys right here, man. So the Cowboys on a PFF, they gave them a B- right here. DC, do you agree with this, man?
I would have probably put them in the range of about about a B. I got the first pick. I know that they made a need, but and of course I actually like the Kansas State kid, the Cooper Beebe. I like that one a lot. But when it comes to the Cowboys, we know. The draft has never been a problem for them.
No.
They're going to find the talent in the draft. It's just that when they get further along down the road. But, B is fine. Yeah, B is fine. Because it's one of the very unknown when you're dealing with the draft. But Cowboys have always been good at the draft, man.
Yeah. Especially like the last 8 years. The Cowboys draft has been very well. And I agree. I agree with this B right here. But I'm gonna give it a solid B instead of a B-. I'm gonna give it a solid B. Jay, how about you, man? So how do you feel about the Cowboys draft, man?
For me, I'll give it a B to a B+, just because I do know that how they draft. They rarely miss a first round offensive lineman. So to get an offensive tackle at 29, I'm gonna give him a B+. Let me run down real quick. So first round, Tyler Guyton, OT out of Oklahoma. Round 2, Marshawn Nealand, edge out of Western Michigan. Round 3, Cooper Beebe, guard / center out of Kansas State. Another round 3, Maurice Liufau.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame linebacker. Kalen Carson out of Wake Forest, cornerback. Ryan Flournoy, wide receiver, Southeast Missouri State. Nathan Thomas, Louisiana tackle, and Justin Rogers, Auburn defensive lineman. So, I want to start with the BB. Like you said, Kraft. To me, that's their best pick because he's a stout blocker. He can play center also.
Right.
Yeah. So if he works out, you kind of solidify your offensive line because we know Guyton is going to be the left tackle. but BB was the one who was kind of like the cherry on top
Right.
because we had Brock Hoffman, Tyler Bass, like no names,
Right.
competing for the center. If he can somehow beat them out and the way he plays, I think that would be a tremendous get to solidify your offensive line. He was Dane Brugler's number 3 guard. I would love to see where he would end up for a tackle. The pick I didn't like, it's not that I didn't like it, it's just it came out of nowhere, that Marshawn Nealon.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody says he could have snuck into the first round. They say he's the number 5 edge rusher for Dane Brugler. I went back, I spent all weekend just looking at these cats over and over and over again, and I just don't see what Marshawn Nealon.
Now, was there somebody available that you'd rather have at that pick, and they didn't take him?
Actually, not really. I kind of wanted them to move back and try to get Trey Benson,
Yeah,
the running back, but on their board they had Marshawn Nealon very high. For some reason, everybody loves him. He was the number 32 overall player, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 32 overall out of 100 for Brugler. He was Bill Belichick's number 42 player. So I just don't see what everybody else is seeing. Like, he's not my type of edge rusher.
Right.
Like, I like more dip. This dude has no bend.
Oh.
He's more of a come down and bull rush. He's going to bull rush every play, but he's really good on run defense. But I just don't see what everybody else sees. I'm gonna try to look his overall scouting report up real quick, but y'all can go ahead while I look that up.
So, with the guy you talking about right now, the Killian, PFF has a grader overall 89 right now,
which isn't bad. That's not bad for a second round pick.
It's not bad in his run defense. I'm sorry, his pass rush grade 84, his run is at 83, and to be honest with you, man, that's solid right there.
Yeah. It's just I don't see it.
Yeah,
the way they do.
But yeah, so let me see. I'm trying to get some more info on him as well. DC, you got anything?
No, yeah, I want to talk about the receiver, Flournoy.
Go ahead.
I think he's on the bigger side for a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
From what I hear, he can get down the field. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to play out. I think he ends up making the roster, even though he's a 6th round.
Mm-hmm.
I think that kid's going to probably mess around and make the roster in Dallas. I'm looking forward to see what it looks like. Come out of Southeast Missouri State.
Yeah,
but I'm really looking forward to see what he does on the next level.
Okay.
So with Nealon, he says overall Nealon is still taking classes in the art of pass rush, which I said I just don't see any moves. All I see is bull rush right now.
Yeah.
But he is charged up into the contact, displays twitch throughout his frame, which allows him to defeat blockers in different ways. He projects as a starting base end whose best football is yet to come. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just the development that they can see. He just doesn't do it for me on pass. I like him on the run, but that's the only one I kind of have a question. And then Kalen Carson, the cornerback, I think he might be a steal. I think he might be like what they got in Deron Bland last year. I think they got them another one with that cornerback. He is aggressive as hell. He talks mad crap. He hits. I love his press man. I don't love him in off coverage, but if you press him up on the line of scrimmage, he's real physical. He can run with you. He only ran a 4.52. That's why I don't like him in off zone coverage and everything. But I think they might have another steal with that corner right there.
Okay. All right. What else?
If you look at with the analytics, consensus board, value board, and draft compensation, draft capital over expectation, Cowboys came out with the number 14th draft in the 2024 draft.
14. All right, that's solid right there.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys want to rapid fire these grades overall of these teams, and just let me know which ones you want to talk about.
Yeah, sure.
Before we move on, Jay, how do you feel about no running back? I know you wanted Trey Benson, but you still went the whole draft and didn't take a look at a running back late in the flyer.
I get it that early, maybe one of these picks, maybe the Louisville pick could have been a running back, but I like everywhere else. That's the only one that I could have said maybe.
Right.
But when you get to the later rounds with Flournoy and Thomas, it wasn't worth it at that point. So you got jumped by Carolina in the second round for Jonathan Brooks. And after that, I was kind of like, just where we're drafting at didn't make sense to get a running back. And I'm fine with it. I think what they're gonna do is they already signed Ezekiel Elliott to a 1 year, $3 million deal. That's fine, but you still got the option of trading. And if it's me, I'm looking at Atlanta and I'm calling for Algier.
Yeah, I can't believe nobody hadn't done that.
That's
yet.
what I'm saying. Like, Bijan earned the starting role. It's a different regime, so hell, I'm gonna call up Atlanta and say, hey, what do you want for Algier? He's on a $4 million contract right now. I'll give you next year's fourth. Maybe not third, but I'll give you next year's fourth or 2 4s for next year because we're going to have compensatory picks. But I'm not too worried about the running back. The more important part was getting that offensive line so you can open up holes for whoever it is. And I think they completed that. That Nathan Thomas, he was a tackle at Louisiana. They're going to put him as guard. He's a big dude. He's already 330-something pounds. So I think they're going to be able to open up learning lanes for whoever is the back.
Okay. All right. So y'all boys ready for the rapid fire grades?
Yeah.
All right. First we're going to start off with the Arizona Cardinals, man. They got a B+. Y'all agree with that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. You like got Marvin Harrison, Darius Robinson, and they end up getting Trey Benson too. So yeah, I love what the Cardinals did for their draft, man. They did pretty damn good.
Like I said, those first 4 picks are really the ones, and they hit every one. That Marvin Harrison, Darius Robinson, Max Milton, Trey Benson. Yeah, they B+ is good.
All right. Moving on to the Atlanta Falcons. They got a C-. Do y'all agree with that?
No. they got a D+ because first of all, we got to talk about it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would you draft Michael Penix, who's 24 already?
He's going to be 25 this year.
He's going to be 25. He's ready to play.
Yeah.
He's more ready to play than a lot of these other quarterback prospects. But you put him behind $100 million guaranteed, so he's not going to see the field at all. It just doesn't make sense that they used a number 8 pick who could have been anybody. Could have been a great defender. It could have been a great wide receiver. Hell, I would even, if they even took Bowers, I would have been like, that's crazy. But
I was just about to say that.
It's still not as bad as taking a backup quarterback at 8. Y'all, what do y'all think?
To me, man, that was like a biggest head scratcher right there. I wonder who made this call. Was it the GM or the owner?
It's the GM.
It's the GM.
They had video of him explaining it to Arthur Blank.
Ah, man, bro, like that right there just didn't make no sense whatsoever. But I don't know, man. You better hope that for like right now, I don't see if it works out. To be honest with you, I don't see how you're gonna waste a first round pick and 8th pick overall on a quarterback that you just got in the offseason and paid ridiculous money from an injury that makes it make no sense why you did what you did. DC?
Fredo, Atlanta Falcons just drafted chaos. 2 months ago, they gave this man $100 million contract to come in and play quarterback for them.
Yeah.
So I want to know if the person that signed off on that contract is the same one that signed off on this pick.
Yeah, man.
So if not, they're saying it's kind of like Green Bay. We want to be like Green Bay that said love. But this guy's already 25.
Yeah.
He won't see the field for 3 years.
Yeah.
There's no way you can bench Kirk Cousins for him. And you can't trade Cousins. Ain't nobody taking that money on for where he's at in his career. So Penix going to sit there for 3 years and be 28, 29 years old before he even get a shot.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. Kirk Cousins going to go out there like he always do. He's going to have a couple of lackluster back-to-back games.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what's going to happen then? The crowd's going to start, we want Penix.
Yep.
Okay? And then you got to deal with that all season long. These guys, the GM and the head coach, Raheem Morris, they won't see this through. I can promise you that. They won't see this. The best thing that can happen for Atlanta right now, and I don't wish hurt on nobody, Cousins got to go out in preseason. He has to get injured with a season-ending injury for this to work out. Because you'll never get your draft value out of Penix.
Yeah.
Number 8 overall, and he ain't gonna never get to play.
Yep.
So it's not gonna work out, Fredo. Like I say, them guys, they won't make it through. The terrible explanation. You can't do that with the number 8 overall, man. You cannot do that.
It's almost the same thing what happened last year with Robinson, man. You didn't need a running back, but you had one already, and you drafted one. And it's like, man, that's a miss opportunity on something that you could have helped your team out.
Right.
But luckily Robinson outplayed your starter.
Right.
You got lucky on that. But we knew he was, man. But they didn't need to make that risk.
Right.
But luckily it panned out. But now, you go to this year and now you're at this draft. Now you do the same thing again. But this time, I don't know if this is the same GM that made this move last year. Was it?
I think so. No.
So what do you expect, man? So next year, I'm pretty sure he's going to draft another tackle when he has a good tackle.
Well, this is 4 or 5 years in a row of luxury picks in the first round. Dating all the way back to Pitts. I mean, that's a luxury. This Drake London.
Yeah.
Bijan. None of these picks that they made are foundational winning picks. It's puzzling, especially just think of the wasted potential of a number 8 pick.
Yes. Oh yeah. Anything that you could have got there. My whole thing is this. We always talk about Jerry Jones being in the business too much. How the hell Arthur Blank sit on his hands and let this happen?
Yeah.
That's your organization. How does that even make? How can these guys even come and explain that to you, or you in your head think that makes sense? Fredo, Michael Penix will be the only first rounder on the bench this year. Everybody else that's drafted in the first round, those guys will be starting on somebody's team, and he will be on the bench for 3 years because of the draft capital you use. You could have traded back and tried. I mean, if you'd have moved back in at the end of the first round, it made a little sense then.
Yeah.
What, top 10 pick overall?
Yeah.
And a guy that's going to ride the bench for the next 3 years? Man, you can't move Cousins with that contract. It's just terrible.
I know on Thursday night when we were watching the draft, we were kind of like hoping like they got something planned out with some other team. But man, as the night was moving on and on, it's like, oh man, these boys made a dumb decision, man.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm Arthur Blank and I come to y'all too.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, I just gave $100 million guaranteed to Kirk Cousins. What's the plan for this dude? What come up with your best scenario of what could happen? So what's the only way that this happens? This works.
So if I was all right, so you're the owner, I'm the GM.
Right.
I would say, all right, we need a backup plan. But we could get that backup plan in the third round.
No, you made the pick.
Oh, I made the pick.
This is after the pick.
Oh, okay.
I'll come to you.
It makes sense.
Because remember, we saw the video of Arthur Blank talking to him, and he was trying to. What was he saying? What was he saying to defend this pick? Yeah. What do you think?
All right. So I think what you were telling me, you as an owner, and then my explanation to you is, look, it's going to work out. We're going to have them send down, but. To be realistic to you, man, like, I don't know what the hell he could be telling him that would make sense. It's not the fact that, like DC mentioned out many times, He's going to be 25 this year. He should be started when he is 25 and not when he's 29.
Like Jordan Love is 25 right now.
Yeah, exactly.
This dude's 24, going to be 25, and he's going to be on
like
the
it
bench.
makes no sense whatsoever. The fact is, you could have got this guy maybe in the third round as well or second.
Crab, like so. I ask you,
like I don't know how to explain that shit.
How do you defend it? You got to defend it.
The way I'm defending, I'm guessing the only way he did, he said we're going to the Green Bay model, but he didn't. He forgot to mention the age.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's the only thing that and it still don't make sense. I don't see there's nothing you could have told him to make him be okay with this, and that's why I say like Jerry, they would never let that fly. I don't think no other team GM would have let that fly. I don't know what the hell Arthur Blank thinking about, but no, they just like I said, they drafted chaos, and man, and it's gonna be maybe at some point down the road, Fredo, it has an effect on the locker room.
Yeah,
maybe the guys in the locker room be like, hey, this guy right here may give us a better chance, but you don't want that. You don't want to go into a season with that there. And I'm gonna say the only way it's gonna work is Cousins get hurt.
Yeah.
Other than that, you'll never get to see Penix, and people want to see that.
And speaking about the locker room, man, Kirk Cousins was stunned that they drafted a quarterback.
Right? Yeah.
You know,
you didn't even warn your your starter.
You know, so because that draft night, they asked Kirk Cousins' agent. He said, "Hey man, like, did they talk to y'all about this?" He was like, "Nah, man, we're surprised as y'all are." And just imagine that, man. So imagine that pressure that Kirk Cousins is going to have now, and we know that Kirk Cousins already is kind of, I'm not saying mentally incapable, but we know that he has his mental issues,
right?
You know, so we're gonna need to give him the established, hey man, you're a guy, but it doesn't help out that you're drafting a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah, Jay, you think you can explain to him to make it sound right?
So what's your explanation?
So if it's me, I'm saying Kirk Cousins is hurt already. He's the contingency if Kirk Cousins doesn't come back 100%. We don't know how he comes back from the Achilles. Achilles used to be a career-ending injury. So now we're just having a plan B in place for if Kirk Cousins doesn't come back 100%. If I'm fine, no, I'm saying he's the best quarterback in the draft. I'm saying he's better than number one. So that's the only way I could say. You're gonna have to lie.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna have to say, "Hey,
man." But these owners are smart, man. These owners didn't become billionaires just to like, well, let's see, bro. You paying a quarterback over $100 million that's guaranteed, and then top of that, you have to pay a quarterback and a first round pick and quarterback first round money, and the quarterback makes more money.
You got to think about it. Where they're drafted is slotted into the pay scale.
Oh yeah,
so Jordan Love was the late round pick.
Right.
He's
late
like
round.
24. So with Penix, you're paying him top 10 money to be on the bench. Okay, well that's the best I could do. Just sit there and lie. Deny till you die.
Yeah, but see the thing about it, Jay, if you come and say, well, he's injury prone, well, why would we give $100 million to a guy that we think is injury prone?
Exactly.
That's what I'm gonna say. Why would we give him this in the first place if there's a chance? And we could have left all that out there and still drafted Penix.
You see,
8. Now if they'd have drafted Penix 8
smart.
and didn't have Cousins, then it would have made a little more sense.
That would have made sense.
But the fact that you just gave this man $100 million guaranteed, and you make,
and this your 8th pick overall? Jesus, no.
Well, also, and Penix is hurt all the time.
Yeah.
Well, not hurt all the time, but he has
some injury
history.
Yeah. So.
Jesus,
That's going to be the story of the year. Storyline of the year. See how this works out for the Falcons.
Man, Atlanta dropped the ball on this one. No, Atlanta's GM dropped the ball on this one. Okay.
And also, the second pick, they traded up for Duke Ororo, but it's just more compensation for. He's a decent player, but what they gave up for him is crazy.
So is there a pick that y'all liked from Atlanta?
I like the Brandon Dorless, defensive line for Oregon. I liked him.
Okay.
From where they picked him compared to where they picked the Clemson tackle.
Okay, so there's a pick that we are scratching our heads about.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the first round.
And they drafted another running back.
Yeah.
I've seen that. A kid from Alabama.
Oh yeah, yeah. Chase McCown in the 6th round.
Yeah.
So he was the backup, right?
Yeah, he's the third. No, he's number 3 now.
Ooh. All right.
Again, that's why you call him up. If you're Jerry Jones, and say, "Give me Algier."
Yeah.
I'll give you something to make you feel good about that trade.
Yeah. All right. So now we move on to the Ravens. They were graded A minus. Y'all agree with this one?
I absolutely do. For them to get Nate Wiggins, who a lot of people said was the second or
Top
third,
20.
yeah, top 20 pick.
Yeah.
Dantes Walker, another downfield threat for Lamar Jackson. TJ Tampa, don't know why he slid, but that was a really good pick in the 4th round. I was just sitting there trying to figure out why he was there the whole time. He should have been a 2nd rounder. Yeah, they just haven't. They just filled everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't sexy, but they got good players at every pick, all the way up until the 6th round when they picked the Kentucky quarterback for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an A draft, man. I like all of that. The first 4, they knocked it out the park. It was awesome. And then 5, yeah, like you say, all the way down to 5. The first 5 picks, they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, and they always do.
Yeah.
They to me, they the best drafting team.
All right, moving on to the Bills, man. They were given a grade a B minus. Now, do y'all agree with this?
I'll probably go maybe a C plus. I didn't like the Kenyon Coleman there. You give that pick to Kansas City. I understand you're trying to build.
Yeah,
Man, you gave that pick to let the Chiefs come in and get Xavier Worthy.
yeah, man.
So you got to deal with that for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
But it was okay. It's a C plus for me, man.
Yeah.
The Ray Davis is okay. I guess you're gonna have a two back backfield now with
Yeah,
him and Cooks. But other than that, I really didn't care for it. But I understand why they did what they did.
yeah.
And what you came out with, but I don't know. I'll give it a C plus.
So every year, man, the Bills find a way to help the Kansas City Chiefs with these players. The first one I'm gonna mention, man, the biggest one is the Patrick Mahomes one.
Yep.
That's
who they traded with.
who they traded with, and then now recently you got this one right here. I get why they're doing it so they can get more picks because they got a bunch of holes,
Oh yeah.
especially in the defense side of the ball, man. But I don't know, man.
What they should do is ask Kansas City, what are y'all here doing? What are y'all trading for?
Yeah,
And then they should just do it.
Yep.
yeah, man.
They should. They'll be hated within the league, but hey, Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes? I think we should draft that because y'all got it right.
Yeah, it's every year. Like it seems like on the field and off the field, the Bills get beat the Chiefs all the damn time. All right, moving on unless if you got something.
Oh, I think that's a B. B minus is a good grade.
Yeah.
Kenyon Coleman does fit with what they do. It's cold weather. You need a big physical wide receiver. He doesn't separate, but that works. I like the Dwayne Carter defensive lineman, and then like you said, Ray Davis. He's going to help them. To me, he was one of my favorite running backs in the whole process. I think he's gonna surprise some people and be a really good rotational running back.
All right, let's move on to the next team. We had the Carolina Panthers. C, solid C. DC, you agree with this, man?
The Leggett pick, unless they just really, really liked him, they already got that guy in Mingo.
Yep.
So for them to trade up to make that pick, I really didn't care for the Jonathan Brooks. I guess you're already admitting that you don't have the running back on your roster.
Yeah.
With the 2 guys, the one you just signed last year. Yeah. So I don't mind that one at all. But to me, it wasn't. I mean, that good of a draft overall. So I'll probably get him about a C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Jay?
C minus. I do like Jonathan Brooks for later. He's coming off an ACL tear. But you need somebody for right now.
Yeah.
So that was kind of head scratching. Trevor Wallace, I like that pick there. Xavier Leggett, like you said, they've got that guy already. These kind of guys typically don't prove to be great players. And you moved up one spot to get. I don't know. I just maybe he becomes a great receiver. I just don't think he's got the profile to be anything special.
Yeah.
And you had better. I would have taken Lad McConkey.
Yeah,
over
better
him.
options for sure left out there. Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next one. We have the Bears. They got a solid A. DC, do you agree with this one?
Yeah, you can't do nothing but agree with it. Solid A for the Bears.
Yeah.
But with that being said, the pressure on Caleb Williams, they won. No quarterback has walked into this situation. No first overall pick, because that's normally the worst team.
Yeah.
You walked into a ready-made team, always, so there's going to be no excuses from you day one. They expect you to go out there and do big things. The receivers are good. Your O-line is a lot better than it was. You got a decent defense now. The second half of last year, the Bears had one of the best defenses.
Yeah.
So now you expect them to go in there and move them right along. So, they knocked it out the park with the Caleb Williams and Roma Duze.
Yeah.
I think they did good.
Yeah, those are solid picks right there.
Yeah,
Jay?
you got to give him a B plus. You can't hurt him for getting Caleb Williams, so you got to give him props for getting that number one pick. And then Roma Dunze, just having Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, and Keenan Allen as a rookie that's probably the best situation you can go into.
Yeah.
Now, the play caller to me is the one with the pressure, because if you don't look good and score 27 and up with this team, then you the problem.
Yeah.
And I do like the Austin Booker edge out of Kansas as a rotational defensive pass rusher for them. So yeah, B plus.
B plus.
You guys so confident they drafted a punter?
Yes, a punter.
In the fourth round.
But they say he's the Caleb Williams of punters.
Okay.
So we'll see. But they say he is.
I wonder if there ever been one drafted that high, man. Maybe Shane Lecter. But man, that's high for a punter.
He's got his own highlight tape, so he must be really good.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. All right, so let's move on to the next one, man. Cincinnati Bengals, man, B plus. Y'all agree with that? DC?
I got to be honest, man. I like everything I give them an A. The first, they got my boy Jermaine Burton.
Yeah.
I really like that pick, man, a whole lot, man, because they got their backup, that T. Higgins fix now, just in case T. Higgins moves on.
Yeah.
I like Burton. And Chris Jenkins, man, from Michigan. Loved it. And, of course, they got the offensive tackle to help protect Burrow. Man, I like just about almost everything they did, man, at Cincinnati. I like the draft, man. I give them an A.
Okay. How about you, Jay?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the B plus. The only problem I have is Amarius Mims. He's not a sure thing. He only played 8 games, but when he did play, he was really good. I like the Eric All pick because he's tight end out of Iowa, so he's gonna overplay his draft position. I really like that one, and Jermaine Burton. I like him. I don't think he fit here, but I'll give him a B plus overall.
Yeah. All right. On to the Cleveland Browns, man. They gave them a C plus. DC, you agree with that, man?
That's about right. That's about right. They made a. I like the kid from Ohio State, Michael Hall, but as far as the other ones, they're not nothing else really exciting me. The Thrash kid from Louisville, I just want to see how that one's gonna work out. But other than that, there's nothing really exciting other than the first round for me, the first pick.
Yeah. And real quick thing right now, so the Cleveland Browns have officially paid their debt to the Texans. So that's it with the Browns.
You want to go through it? So,
yeah, go ahead, man.
So the full Texans-Browns trade being complete, the Texans got the 2022 first-round pick, which became Kenyon Green. They got a fourth-round pick that became Damian Pierce.
Solid.
I don't know. For the first year?
Yeah. I mean, look, y'all should be calling us to see if y'all want to get
Nah. Not Damian Pierce.
The tape over a year old now.
And so they got Will Anderson out of it, so that's a positive. Third-round pick, they got Tank Dell out of it. That's 2 out of 4 for me. And then They end up with Kamari Lassiter and Jamal Hill and Caden Bullitt. So they got 3 picks out of this draft because they end up trading back. So it equaled out to Lassiter, Hill, and Bullock out of this draft. And so we'll see.
Yeah,
Then the Browns eventually got Deshaun Watson and Jerry Judy.
Mm-hmm.
No.
a trade. Yeah, because with that pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would you say that turned out?
To me, it turned out better for the Texans.
It's a win for the Texans, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, because Deshaun has not.
I haven't seen it on field for Watson yet.
Yeah, Deshaun hasn't been Deshaun since 2020. You know, and we're going to a 2024 season, man. So I'll give it that. First year he was suspended, man, but you know, it just I feel like the Texans just robbed the Browns, man. Unfortunately,
and you got to think of the contract they gave him too.
Yeah.
So add that contract into the trade, and it's a landslide victory for the Texans.
Yeah. All right. We did the Cowboys already, so we moved to the Broncos. The Broncos got an A-, man. DC, do you agree with that, man?
I'm trying to see where they got it at. With the Bo Nix at 12, which we knew that the rumor that they liked him, but I guess they had no choice.
Yeah,
they couldn't trade back. I'm sure the Raiders may have done the same thing. So, but hey, I don't mind the pairing up Troy Franklin. I like Troy Franklin with Bo Nix, so that we have a little continuity from the beginning. I actually like the running back out of Notre Dame. I really do, but I felt like they had one with Williams already and Ryan. So I don't know where he's gonna fit in, even though Williams got hurt.
Yeah.
So I really like him. I don't know. I wish he'd have went to a different team. So I don't know where he's gonna come in on the depth chart to that one out. But it's a so-so draft for me.
Okay. How about you, Jay?
I'll give it a B-. You gotta trust Sean Payton with Bo Nix. That's the only reason it's this high.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have taken him where they took him. Troy Franklin, I liked him a lot during the process, but scouts have been saying once you get hands on him, press him, he's done. Mm-hmm. So, like you said, the best pick is Audric Estime, running back, big, powerful running back. You can have full 6-man boxes. He'll still run through that thing. And Chris Abrams-Drain was a good pick also. But I don't see why. You said A?
Yeah, A-.
A-. I'll give it a B-. Full letter grade lower.
Okay. All right, next team, the Detroit Lions, man. They got graded with a solid A. DC, you agree with that?
I like it.
Yep.
I like they came in, they got their 2 future cornerbacks
in
the first 2 picks, which is another team that really didn't have that many holes to fill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, definitely they're stirring up the back end of that defense. So, I have no problem with what they done, man, at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jay?
Yeah, they get an A just off the first 2.
Yeah.
Terry and Arnold, a lot of people had him as cornerback 1. They get him at 24.
Yeah.
They Rex Straw, really good potential. They get him a 2nd round. After that, it's all good. Vaki, Wingo could be a really good pick for them also, but they won on day 1 and 2.
Okay. All right, moving on to the Green Bay Packers, man. Their grade is a B+. You agree with that, man?
Yep. Yes, I do, Fredo. They went out and got the tackle to shore up the offensive line for him. And I do like Adrian Cooper, linebacker from A&M, man. Really good. And, of course, they got the safety that I really like out of this draft in Bullard. Come back and get Lloyd. Yeah, so I didn't understand. I like Lloyd, but I didn't understand the pick, which you just got Jacobs in there on a new deal, basically. Yeah. So what you going to do with Lloyd? So, but overall, I think they had one of the better drafts in the league for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Jay?
Yeah, I'll give it a B-, just based off the first 4. Morgan, Cooper, Bullard, who a lot of people had him as the number 1 safety or number 2 safety, and Lloyd, a lot of people had him as the 1 or 2 running back prospect. B. I'll give him a B- for their draft.
Okay. All right, now we're moving on. We did the Texans already. Now we're moving on to the Indianapolis Colts. They got an A+. DC, do you agree with that, man?
It can be. It's just the edge rusher works out when you, like we say, we high risk, high reward. But I don't like it. They're taking a chance. The Colts, they're a team that'll get a little risky like that to take chances.
Yeah.
With Mitchell, I like that too. So, what'd they give him, Fredo?
A plus.
Oh man, I would give him a solid A. I wouldn't put the plus on that, but I would give him about a solid
A. All right. Jay, how about you, man?
I give him an A.
A. All right.
Latu is perfect. Adonai Mitchell, you can't ask for no better second round pick.
Yeah.
And then Matt Calves, they picked him earlier than I thought he would go.
Yeah.
But he's a potential starter eventually in on their offensive line. Anthony Gold, another receiver, but they won with Latu and Mitchell. I could see them being immediate contributors.
Oh, no doubt.
To the team. Latu he's gonna come in. He's gonna get 8 to 12 sacks year one.
Man, just hopefully he doesn't get hurt, man.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
He was medically retired from Washington.
Yeah.
Who's done that before? If you remember the Jordan Phillips for the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
He went to Washington. He got medically retired from them, and he went to UCLA also.
Yeah.
The only thing is, Phillips got hurt this year, so it's gonna come back to bite
eventually,
you.
right?
Eventually, it's gonna come back to bite you. But Latu, as of right now, he's gonna come in and be good on day one.
Okay. Next team, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, they were rated a solid B. DC, do you agree with this one?
It's. I like the Brian Thomas pick.
Yeah.
It looked like they went all LSU.
They
got 3 LSU guys, but B is okay. Smith should be fine within the defensive end. They also got out of LSU, but they needed somebody. They needed to receive with Cameron really leaving. This guy should fill in for him.
Yeah. Man, I'm seeing right here, man. They went almost like all powerhouse colleges, man. LSU, Florida State, Missouri, Ole Miss, Texas. Jesus. But yeah, Jay, how about you, man?
I give them C. I think they had the worst draft out of the division. Brian Thomas Jr. he's going to come in and help them out. I didn't like Mason Smith at all. To be picked 48, they had much better prospects on the board. Jerry Jones is a good DB, not great. Their best pick is Brian Thomas, and after that, I've got a question on all of the other picks. Keelan Robinson could be a good pick, but I think they picked him up for the new kickoff rule. Okay. He's going to be the returner. He's fast as hell, so he's probably going to be the returner, and that could end up being a positive pick for them. So Brian Thomas, Keelan Robinson. Special teamer is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they picked up the 5th-year option on the running back ETN and Trevor Lawrence. But still no deal for Trevor Lawrence. He's the only one that he'd been traded or got a new deal.
And they can't wait.
No.
They got to hurry up and get him signed. Or maybe they move on from him. I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next team, Kansas City Chiefs, man. They were rated a grade of B+. Y'all agree with this? DC?
Rich get rich. They got a tight end, but I like the kid they got out of TCU, Wadley. He had 8 touchdowns this year. He's one of the better tight ends in the country. I watched the Longhorns, and when they, watched a little bit of Big 12 football, and I heard him mention this guy's name. But, it looks like they went out and found somebody to rotate in with Kelsey. If anything ever happens to Kelsey, hell, they had Blake Bell for years, and he was productive when they needed him. So I know this kid right here is going to be productive. And of course, Xavier Worthy. I mean, shit, get richer. Straight up. So
he got that speed, man.
Another toy for Mahomes to play with. And I agree with it. It's fine. I agree with it, man.
This is an A+ draft for me. This is one of my favorite players. A lot of people look down on the Xavier Worthy pick. Just because of his size, he's 4'2", 165. He ran a 4.21 at 165. But again, the new kickoff rule, he can put him out there. and who's gonna catch that dude? You know what I'm saying? So that he's a two-way player in that aspect. He just think of the jet sweeps, the over routes, the quick screens. Like this is one of the best screening teams. So he's gonna be almost unstoppable when you add him and Hollywood Brown. It's like you said, the rich get richer. That's your saying.
Yeah.
Kingsley Sumataya, I liked him a lot. I wanted the Cowboys to get him if they traded out of the second round. Jared Wiley, receiving tight end. Like, all of these are immediate contributors. Or you see how he can help on two tight end sets with Wiley, and then Jaden Hicks. I thought he was the best or second best safety, and they got him all the way on the fourth round. I love everything they did.
And like they said, with the screens and Worthy, that's where he made a living at. If Quinn Ewers would have been a better deep ball thrower, his numbers would have been. He would have been further up the charts. He left so many yards on the field just because Quinn Ewers wasn't as accurate on the deep ball because he was beating coverage.
Yes.
The problem was the quarterback wasn't accurate enough
couldn't
to
get
hit
him
him
the
where
ball.
he needed to.
Yeah.
So I expect Mahomes to make that adjustment, and you'll see some more stuff. But he would Andy Reid, so I don't see him failing. And you may see him early because when Rasheed Rice gets suspended, he should step right in.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Rice might not get his spot back.
Think of all the trick plays they can come up with those two cats.
Yeah. Just for him even if he ain't getting the ball,
right?
You got to respect that, man. So it's gonna be scary with the Chiefs.
Oh yeah. All right. So moving on to the divisional rival, man, Las Vegas Raiders. They were given a B+. DC, do you agree with that, man?
Yeah, I didn't like, of course, the way they went first, but then they came back and they got McConkey. They got a receiver, which they definitely need one of those. So I didn't mind, and they went and they got the Rice kid out of USC. I still don't know how that's going to turn out. But
who you talking about?
Brendan Rice.
No, you talking about the Chargers or the Raiders?
Oh, we on the Raiders?
Yeah, Raiders.
Okay.
Yeah, Raiders.
Oh, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it first. I'll give them a B-. Brock Bowers is a luxury pick, but he's the best pick on their board, so I see why they took him. Jackson Powers Johnson is a really good, strong offensive guard for them. I think he's a really good center. And the other pick I like is Eichenberg. The other cats that they picked, we'll have to see how they develop, but Eichenberg, Powers, and Powers Johnson and Bowers, I'll give them solid B.
Solid B?
Yeah. I didn't know. The Brock Bowers, that was, like for everybody, that was pretty head scratching.
Yeah.
Even for himself.
Yeah.
He didn't seem to enjoy that pick.
Yeah.
He just took Michael Mayers last year in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you're going to be running some type of two tight end sets or what, because both of those guys need to be on the field.
Yeah.
He took them that early in the draft. But yeah, they're okay, but they still got to fix their quarterback situation.
Yeah.
The whole thing with them.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, cool. Jumping into the Los Angeles Chargers now. They were given a solid A. DC, do you agree with that?
Right. Like I said, they made up for it. They took Alton, they took McConkey. Looks like Harbaugh on their way to some more stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
Up to his old tricks. So I would expect them to come out and be competitive this next year.
Yeah.
They were all over field, took a couple cornerbacks.
Bunch of
I
receivers.
didn't realize they had that many. I didn't realize they had that many picks.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, they went out there and they filled some needs, man. So I would expect them to come out and ground and pound.
Okay.
So.
Jay?
Yeah, I give them an A. Also, Joe Alt is a left tackle. They're gonna play him at right. That's the confusing pick. Not pick, but confusing. Like, is he gonna be comfortable at right tackle? But he'll be okay. Lamb McConkey is a great pick. He's one of my favorite wide receivers. Junior Colson, really good pick. Every pick they made is really good, especially even down to Cam Hart out of Notre Dame, Brendan Rice, Cornelius Johnson. It's just from 1 to 7, they made all quality picks. They're probably a top 3 or 4 draft for me.
Yeah. Okay. All right, moving on to the Rams, man. They were given a grade a B plus. DC, do you agree with that, man?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. But the first two picks, they got two guys that play alongside each other in Florida State.
Yeah, man.
And if the Titans didn't pick up Big Guy Sweat, I wouldn't have minded Fisk, which went right after Sweat. The very next pick, they came in and took him. But yeah, and then of course they got Blake Corum. I like that. The Rams, I like what they did, man. I think the defensive front is it's going to be really stiff. Now you already got Kobe Turner there, and then you bring in these two guys. I like it a whole lot. And this is one of the reasons I'm probably going to pick these guys. They win that division this year. I think the Rams take it back this year, man.
Wow. Okay. Jay?
Yeah. Give them a minus. Verse, Fisk, teammates, really good. Corum, can't complain. Kitchens, that's probably the steal of the draft. Third round pick. Free safety out of Miami. Liked him a lot. Bo Limmer in the 6th round. Offensive lineman out of Arkansas.
Wow.
They just kept hitting them, hitting, and they developed well from Puka was a 5th round pick. A lot of during their Super Bowl run, a lot of the late round picks were helping them out.
Yeah.
So I like everything they did. You just know all these picks are going to come through. Fisk is a really quick defensive lineman. He already played with Verse, so that's a good 1-2 pick right there.
Okay. Moving on to the next team, the Dolphins, B minus, DC. You cool with that?
Man, the Chop Robinson pick, once I went and read a little bit more on him, I'm not sure that's why I would have went at 21. I probably would have went a different direction, but the tackle from Houston, that once again, I don't know about that one either. So I'm probably gonna give him around about a C minus, man, for this right here. I really didn't care for what the Dolphins did, and they went out and they took Jalen Wright. Why would you do? I mean, you got Mostert, you got A-Chan, and you got what you gonna do with Jalen Wright?
You got a bunch of running backs.
You just gave him Mostert a new contract, so I don't know what they were thinking about, man. But C minus for me, man.
Yeah. All right, Jay.
I give him a C. And I'm thinking about the whole offseason, like, have they done anything to get them over the hump? Because I don't think they've helped themselves get to be able to beat winning teams, which was their problem last season. Chop Robinson as a edge rusher, okay, he's speed guy. He ran really fast. They're gonna run right at him each time he's on the field. Patrick Paul, big dude, long arms, lanky, heavy-footed though.
Yeah.
I don't think Power 5 competition had a problem against him. Again, like you said, Jalen Wright loved the fit,
right?
But it's already crowded. Yeah. Maybe that's a team call up for Raheem Mostert,
right?
Yeah, the Cowboys may be able to call up for him. They gave him a new contract though. Kamara, the defensive lineman out of Colorado State, was probably their best pick. I liked him as a better fit than Chop Robinson. Yeah, I mean, they just got faster and not as tough. It's just it's a track team, but we see how that happened. I mean, how that worked out last year. Go into the elements and they're going to get stopped again.
I'll see if they're the guy like the kid out of Notre Dame. I understand you got somebody with some size when you have to go into the elements. The Buffaloes and New England's late in the year. Yeah. But you ain't that much more than you already had.
Yeah. Okay. All right, moving on. We got the Minnesota Vikings, man. They got a B plus. DC, do you agree with that grade, man?
No, I'm gonna give them B minus. I just can't get on board with the JJ McCarthy deal.
Okay.
I know they had to get one, but man, that to go out and get him like that, I didn't mind the Dallas Turner pick at all. But I like Jackson out of Oregon, Kyrie. Yeah. But I'm still scratching my head on the JJ McCarthy to see how this is gonna all work out in Minnesota, man. Yeah, I'm giving B minus.
Jay?
C plus. I do like the Dallas Turner pick, but what they gave up for him is ridiculous. Right. Yeah, I think they gave up three. They gave a third, a fourth, and a fifth for just to get Dallas Turner. Yes, he dropped a little bit, but
and also what they gave up to Houston.
Yes.
for that 23rd pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So their whole draft process, it screams win now, but I don't think they're good enough.
The results ain't gonna.
Yeah, I don't think they're good enough right now. JJ McCarthy, we'll see. I can't. I like the fit where he's at.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to see him perform. Their best pick was Kyrie Jackson.
Yeah.
I went back and watched him after the draft. Yeah, he's gonna be a problem.
You know that JJ McCarthy is coming into a good situation, man. You got a top 3 wide receiver. You got one of the best,
almost as good as Chicago.
Yeah, and also your number 2 receiver.
Yeah,
Addison. Yeah,
he's good.
And Hawkinson when he comes back.
And the running back.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, you good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like he's going into a good situation, so be you should be happy about that. Next team is the Patriots. B plus. DC, do you agree with that?
Like I say, I think like they say, Drake may have to. He's gonna have some growing pains, but I'm guessing they're gonna start out Jacoby probably the first half of the year, and then at some point Drake May comes in and turn over. Jalen Polk, I like him, but I don't know about that high.
Yeah,
I like him a lot, but I just don't know about that second round number 37 overall. There's guys you probably could have. The Javon Baker, the guy from UCF, don't mind him at all. I think he started out maybe what did he start? Alabama somewhere. He started out and he transferred to UCF, but I don't mind that pick at all. And I see they got the project quarterback in Joe Milton.
Yeah,
he can throw the ball over the ocean, but sometimes he can't hit the water. So I don't mind it. But that's okay. For what they had to work with, I just didn't like Pope going that high. So they were all over the place with it, and I don't mind that at all. Yeah, with the Patriots, they still a couple of years away. It looks like.
Yeah. Jay.
C plus. Drake May. I like the pick for them. I think they liked Jaden Daniels a lot more, so they just settled for Drake May, which is fine. He could work out and be the best quarterback in the draft. Jalen Polk, like you said, DC, too high.
Yeah.
I liked them a lot, but not for where they picked them. There's way better receivers available. Javon Baker might have been a better pick for where he was. And what is Joe Milton gonna do?
Right.
You're supposed to get a quarterback who's similar to your starter. I just don't see what Milton's gonna do unless they want to convert him, make him a Taysom Hill.
Could be.
But Taysom Hill ain't even really working out, so we'll see.
Okay.
C plus.
C plus. All right. Moving on to the Saints, man. They got a grade of A plus. DC, do you agree with that?
Not quite. I give them an A. I like a lot of stuff they did with the tackle for McKinstry. I even like the Spencer Rattler pick.
Yeah.
Just in case Derek Carr can't get it off the ground. But I'll give them a B, man. They're not bad. But they filled some needs. They definitely need some O-line help because the guy they took a couple of years ago, I'm not sure it's going to work out on the offensive line. But and I like McKinstry. What's McCauley getting a little long in the tooth. I don't know how much longer he'll be around, but yeah, they did okay. And I like Rattler for where you got him at in the 5th round.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Jay, how about you, man?
I'll go out and say A minus. Talisi Fuaga, OT out of Oregon State, was my favorite tackle in the draft. I liked him a lot. He's perfect for them. To come up and get Kool-Aid McKinstry was a really good pick for them. They need somebody on the other side of Marshawn, like you said. Spencer Rattler, 5th round pick to get him as a backup. We'll see. But Jalen Ford is probably my favorite pick on the later days. Really good athletic linebacker out of Texas. Liked him a lot. But I do A minus just for the first 3 picks, especially.
Okay. All right, moving on to the Giants, man. Giants will grade it A minus. DC, do you agree with that, man?
Man, they got some pretty good names on this team, but you had the worst offensive line last year, and I didn't even see you draft the offensive lineman the whole damn draft. So what are we doing? You gonna put Daniel Jones right back in the position that he was in last year? For us to run around talking about they need a new quarterback. You didn't even try to help him. You didn't even get a running back. So I guess you're gonna go running down with the Singletary. Yeah. So I like the neighbors, of course. I like Newman, but outside of that, I mean, why didn't you go out and try to fix the O-line? That was probably your biggest need with O-line, and you didn't even address it, period. So, but yeah, I give him probably about a B. B minus, actually.
Jay?
Yeah, I agree with B. I do like Neighbors. I like Nubin. I like Tyrone Tracy, running back out of Purdue, as picks. Like you said, they just didn't care about offensive line, so they'll be drafted high again. But to get Neighbors, my best wide receiver in the draft is still at 6. They're incomplete still.
Yeah.
But I give them a pretty good grade for just those 3 names right there. We'll see how Andrew Phillips out of Kentucky develops, but yeah, they still got holes.
Okay. Now we go to the Jets. They're given an A. DC, do you agree with that, man?
I don't mind because they did what I wanted them to do. They got the tackle first.
Yeah.
To help protect Aaron Rodgers. And I didn't mind the Malachi Corley. But yeah, I give them an A. I want to see out of that the safety out of the one they picked in the 7th round, Jalen Key, out of South Alabama. I read a little bit up on him. I want to see how this is going to go for him in New York. So yeah, I'm fine with it. And of course, the Jordan Travis pick, they look like they got a backup for the future. He was Florida State. A lot of people say they would have contended for the national championship, but he got hurt.
Yeah.
So now it looks like they may have a guy on the roster that you can let sit a couple of years.
Yeah.
While Aaron Rodgers finishes out his career. So yeah, I don't mind the grade at all.
Okay. Jay?
I'm gonna give it a B plus. Getting Fashanu instead of getting Bowers was a great pick in my opinion. Malachi Corley is a gadget player as of right now. We'll see if he develops into a downfield threat, but right now he's more of a smokescreen, shallow cross player, which is cool. Braylon Allen, I don't know why you would get Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis.
Brees Hall there.
Yeah, when you have Brees Hall. Yes, Brees Hall gets injured, but Braylon Allen's not going to come in and be your bell cow. He's a short yardage back, in my opinion. B plus.
Okay. All right, now we go to the Eagles. Their grade is an A plus. DC, do you agree with that, man?
Yeah, I like what the Eagles did, man. Some kind of way, man, they just go out there and they just go for it. They're like, we're going to take the best available. They came out with the 2 cornerbacks. I mean, I think those guys may have been the 2 highest rated cornerbacks coming out probably. And they ended up with both of them in the top 40 picks. Yeah, I like everything. That's definitely A. I like Will Shipley. He's going to be very underrated. People, I think, slept on him. But he can do it all. He can do it all. I don't mind that at all. So, and, of course, Anil Smith, a speedy receiver out of A&M. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Yeah, they knocked it out of the park. I like everything they did here for the most part. Now, how it played out on the field, we'll find out.
Yeah.
But I like what they did through the draft, yeah.
Jay, how about you, man?
Yeah, it pisses me off. That's an A plus draft. It's like the league conspires to let them have everything they want.
Yeah.
Last year
like
they
the
just let Jalen Carter fall to him. Then this year they let Quinyon Mitchell. They didn't even have to trade up for him.
Nope.
Quinyon Mitchell, best cornerback in the draft. They got Cooper DeJean as he can play slot or safety. So they fixed their secondary in 2 picks.
Yep.
Jalix Hunt is a edge rusher in the mode of Nolan Smith. So it doesn't look like he played any, or he may not work out. So they got insurance against that. Will Shipley is hit and miss. He's fast. He doesn't break tackles. It's kind of puzzling at first, but he can't return.
Right.
That's another player they can put on special teams. Same with Aeneas Smith. And then low-key, Johnny Wilson, he's a 6'6", 230-pound wide receiver. Big as hell. He will not get any separation, but he does make plays. In the red zone, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
They can do a lot of RPO stuff. The way they use Goddard, they can use him in the same way. It's a good draft. It's nothing you can say. They're probably top two draft for me this year.
Okay. Moving on, we got the Steelers, man. Steelers are given an A plus. DC, you agree with that?
I love it. The first 2 picks, they straightened up that offensive line. You got Arthur Smith, so don't be surprised when you see the Steelers. They're gonna be top 5 in rushing this year. I can promise you that. Arthur Smith's gonna run this thing into the ground. Yeah, that's definitely an A+ for me. Yeah, I like what they did. Man, they got solid. The kid out of West Virginia, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yes. They got that's the best draft. This is the number one.
Yep.
Getting Troy Fautanu, who can play anywhere on the line.
Yeah.
So their number one need on offensive line is filled with him. And then they get Zach Frazier, center, who is he's a wrestling champion. He's strong. He's angry, really good blocker. I love that. Roman Wilson, you pair him up with who's the kid they got their number one receiver.
Oh,
Johnson.
I don't know. I'm blanking.
on too.
Yeah.
But you pair him up, put him in the slot. He's a really good route runner. And then Peyton Wilson. I like that they took the chance on him. He is a quick as hell linebacker. He makes plays all over the field. Yep. The problem is he doesn't have an ACL in one of his legs, in one of his knees. So I don't see why other teams are against just playing him until he can't play no more. Just play him, and then you replace him later on. So I like to pay, and then Mason McCormick, another offensive line. So basically, this draft is saying, Russell Wilson, you have no excuses.
Yep.
Justin Fields, no excuses. Whoever gets on the field should be fine. And the receiver I was thinking about was George Pickens.
Pickens, yeah.
So you get Pickens, you get Roman Wilson. Their play action game is going to be great. In the red zone, they're going to be able to run whenever they want to. That's a great draft right there.
Okay. All right, so moving on to the next team, we have the 49ers, man. B+, DC. You agree with that?
I'd probably give them a B, man. I didn't like the Pearsall that early, which tells me they must be finna move on from one of these receivers. Something's about to change in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Especially with Ayuk, even though him and Ayuk were teammates at one point, but I still think at some point, I think they're going to probably let him go on or trade him and get something out of him. But not much exciting. I don't mind the guy Malik out of Wake Forest. Yeah, I don't mind that pick at all. So not exciting because I know there's some big changes coming in San Francisco at some point.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm fine with a B.
Okay. Jay?
Give this a B-. Pearsall at 31 was a reach. To me, he's gonna be a decent receiver, but I don't think he was worth the 31 overall pick. They overdrafted him by probably 20 spots. Ronaldo Green, decent quarterback. They could have got other ones who are better. I like the Kyrie Jackson better than him. Pooney, I like that pick. That's a good pick. Mustafa out of Wake Forest, safety, good pick. Isaac Guerrero I don't get that. I don't get the point of getting him. Big old running back, not very agile. He's fast as hell, but I don't think he fits. Fits right there. Jacob Cowing is a good pick. I do like that pick. But overall, I just give it C.
C. All right. Yeah. Next team, man, we got the Seahawks, B+. DC, you agree with that?
I like it. They got Murphy in the middle. Now, first year head coach. Yeah. He's got to go out and put a stamp on this thing. And I like what they did. UTEP, the linebacker out of UTEP, don't know much about him, but they took him in the fourth round. So they must have seen something that everybody else didn't see. But yeah, I expect this team. They got a lot of spots already filled. Yeah, I figure they only issue probably with maybe O-line, something like that. But other than that, this is the team they're ready to go.
Yeah. All right. Jay?
Yeah, C+ for me. That Byron Murphy pick is incredible at 16. Probably the best defensive player in the draft for me. Other than that, I mean, they just filled other spots.
Yeah.
I would like to see how AJ Barner does, the tight end from Michigan, but I think they just filled a whole bunch of other spots with decent names. But Byron Murphy is the one for me.
Okay.
That first round.
Moving on to the next team, the Buccaneers, man. A solid A, DC. You agree?
Yeah, because they filled their needs. They filled some holes, a lot of holes. And like I say, I like the Jalen McMillan. I like that guy.
That's Jerron's cousin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's the other wide receiver out of Washington.
Yeah.
So I like them a lot. So Graham Burton, I think they're gonna help. That's gonna help them out a lot on the O line, which they need some help over there. But I don't mind it at all. Like they were all over the place, man. Like they got one of everything just about. So I don't mind it at all.
Mm-hmm. Jay?
I'll give this one an A. Graham Barton is a future All-Pro in my opinion. Braswell is he fits. He looks like a Buccaneer. He fits their scheme. Tyke Smith, I like that pick. Jalen McMillan, slot receiver, really good. And then Bucky Irvin,
the running back.
Yeah, that is a really underrated pick because he gives them the flashy out of the backfield receiver.
Yeah.
So they got Rashad. Damn it, I can't think it. It starts with a something. Rashad something. But as a scat back, he's really good on screens, stuff in the flat. I like that. I like that pick a lot.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the we did the Titans already. Moving on to the Commanders, man. Commander, solid A. DC, you agree with that, man?
I do agree with it. I like of course, the Jaden Daniels. I also like the Johnny Newton pick. But of all this, my favorite one is the tight end they got out of Kansas State.
Okay.
So no,
Yep.
I like that a whole lot. So yeah, they did pretty damn good, I think, in this draft. Like I say, once again, how it all plays out, but we'll see. But as far as the everything they hit on, I like it.
Yeah. Gotcha. Jerron?
I love their first three picks. Jaden Daniels, of course. Pair him with Kingsbury. Johnny Newton, he's gonna be a problem to block. Soren still, the cornerback out of Michigan, he's a slot only player. But they say he's getting rave reviews from everybody. So we'll see how he comes into the league. Sinat I like, but I think they overdrafted him. I think they could have got him later on in the draft. But I don't think he's a tight end. I think he's a fullback / tight end. He's a movement player. He's gonna be like the cat out of San Francisco to me. But yeah, that's pretty good draft. Give him an A for A overall. Jordan McGee, another perfect pick for them.
All right, man. So that right there concludes the grades, man, of this 2024 NFL draft, man. All right, guys. So I guess we could go down and see what's up. Rumor mills, news type of stuff. So is there anything I want to talk about? There's something I want to talk about. Tank Dell, he's fine.
Yes.
So over the weekend, Saturday night, Tank Dell was at a club. It was an event at a club. And the 16-year-old decided he wants to tear stuff up. And he shot, well, he didn't shoot, but he shot at a crowd. Out of that crowd, 10 people got hurt. No deaths. So that's a good thing. So one of those 10 people would happen to be Tank Dell. He was out the next day. If anything, the same day he was out. Now he's back here in Houston. Everything is good. So nothing significantly is gonna like impact his personal life and football life. So that was good. Just you gotta watch out where you at nowadays.
No doubt.
So overall, that's good right there. So and also another news, we know that running back Zeke Elliott is going back to the Cowboys. You mentioned how you feel about that, but do you still feel that that right there is going to bring an impact to the running game, Jerron? Because we know that you've spoken that maybe the Cowboys should call up other teams,
Yes.
like Atlanta?
I do, because overall last year the problem I had with the running game is they couldn't convert 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s, or goal line, and he's the king of that right there. He was missing. They missed him last year, and he actually showed me something in New England. He had a little burst. He was helpful in their passing game. I would say it's a pretty good pick. It's a pretty good signing. 1 year, $3 million, but they got more work to do.
Yeah.
So it's not over with. You can still add to that, and he's not going to cost them a lot.
Yeah. DC?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with him at all, man. Get familiar with the teammate, the locker room, and offensive lineman and stuff. Yeah, so like you say, they got work to do. I'm sure before the season starts, they'll have undrafted free agent or something. They'll bring in some guys to try out, or not. Like you say, maybe trade for someone that's deep in the depth chart on another team that's got 2 legit running backs ahead of them.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. Is there anything else y'all boys want to talk about?
I got a couple things. I know y'all talked about the uniforms last week.
Yeah.
Did y'all come to a full ranking? So
No.
there's four.
No.
There's 4 uniforms that changed. But the significant ones are the Texans, who have a full new uniform overhaul. You got the Broncos overhauling uniforms. You got the Jets, who kind of went back to the old school ones, and you got the Lions, who did a semi overhaul. You want to rank those from best to worst?
Okay.
I can go if y'all want to start.
So give us your list, and we can say we agree with them or not.
Okay, my list is number 1.
Start with 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So number 4, the worst is the Denver Broncos. I have no
agree with
idea
that.
what they're doing. They have West Virginia, ACC. They have Canadian football jerseys, uniforms. I would be
XFL jerseys.
I would be pissed off if I was a rookie who came in to wear those. The one thing they have is their throwbacks.
Yep.
Those throwbacks should be their mains.
Primary.
Should be their primary. I have no idea why teams just don't go to the old school. They try these newfangled things. And then I'm gonna go with the Jets. I love those Jets uniforms. That green,
old school ones.
They're old school.
Yep.
Maybe I'm just an old head now. The only ones I don't like would be that all black.
Yeah.
That they could have missed me with those, but overall the positive. Then I go with the Texans. Texans were very bold. I'll give them that. The primary ones are the best ones. It's just they're beautiful blue. I like the shoulder with the logo.
Oh yeah.
The numbers in the pants fit perfectly with that jersey there. The only ones I don't like are their city ones. I just can't get jiggy with the helmet. The helmet looks like Rice University to me. I don't like that they're that close to the Titans. And the color scheme isn't getting me. Those are my least favorite out of their jerseys. And then number 1 would be Detroit. Detroit is the only ones I don't like are the ones that look like the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
That blue and the black, that's Carolina. But the way that they changed everything else is classic, and I can go with those. I really can go with those.
We have the same order, exact same order. Yep.
Yeah. But overall, those are the uniforms. Also, in other news, it's not necessarily NFL, but Reggie Bush.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Reggie
good.
Bush
That's
getting
good.
his Heisman back. Love that for him. he's well
Oh,
deserved.
no doubt.
And
No doubt. He done it on the field. He achieved that on the field. So
exactly.
Yep.
I'm fine with it.
Kraft, you got any news before I go on?
I think that's I'm stop, man. I think that's it for me. Would y'all got anything else?
Yeah, AJ Brown.
Yes.
Every draft, something big happens with him. Dude got a 3-year, $96 million extension, $84 million guaranteed. He's the highest paid per year average wide receiver, $32 million dollars per year. Even more, the Eagles put more pressure on the Cowboys to give CeeDee Lamb $35 million. You know, like they're just putting pressure on the contract situation, and I think they're doing that on purpose. They signed AJ Brown. They signed Devontae Smith to extensions. It's just smart on their part. AJ Brown should be ecstatic every draft season. And then last thing I got is the practice caps, the Guardian caps.
Yeah.
The NFL has allowed them to wear them in games now. How do we feel about that going forward? I think it's going to be mandatory eventually. Every NFL player eventually is going to have to wear those so they don't get sued for CTE related injuries. How do y'all feel about the Guardian cap being worn?
So that right now is an option for the player or for the team?
Yes.
Oh wow.
To wear during the game.
Right.
Yeah. I really don't know how I feel about them, but I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe with the next 2-3 years, they will be wearing them.
Yeah.
Game day now, so might as well get used to them now, I guess.
Yeah, I'm with you, Fredo. I think in the next couple of years, it's going to be pretty much mandatory. Everybody will be wearing those things.
Yeah. It's the little things that the NFL is going to try to push. We've seen them. They do this in the past. They changed from helmets, with the padding inside. And remember that one year that Antonio Brown didn't want to use the newer helmets. He wanted to use the ones Pierce, the one that he was using before they made the change. And he made a big deal out of that. So we know that little by little, man, they're gonna make those changes. So might as well get used to them, man. Because here it goes.
And if you think about it, those are a protective cap to guard against head injuries.
Yep.
Roger Goodell said he wants to go to 18 games.
Yes. Yep.
And give them two bye weeks.
2 bye weeks. So if you think about it, 18 games plus the protective cap over the helmet, it just makes sense to where they're not going to give the players an excuse for not being able to do the whole 18 games. They also talked about stretching the season out to where the Super Bowl is on a 3-day weekend, President's Day. So they're trying to go and take over everything. Basically,
they want it.
They want the whole year to be an NFL season. I'm up in the air. I didn't like 17 games, but I mean, I'm used to it now. You will have to work with the 18-game season. I just don't like it for the player health, and they're trying to give them reasons not to complain about it.
Yeah. As fans, more football, even better, but they do get that extra bye week. So I wonder how that determines how they split it up,
I'm sure they already got a plan in motion already.
Yeah.
They got it figured out.
Yeah. Y'all boys got any more news?
I can check recently, but nothing right off the bat.
So I got something right here, man. So Matt Ryan's gonna join the NFL today. So that means it's gonna be Matt Ryan, James Brown, Nate Balzan, and Bill Coward and JJ Watt. So I'm pretty sure who's out then.
Was it Boomer Assassin? Was he on there?
Yeah. I guess Boomer's out then. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Matt Ryan's joining the NFL today on CBS.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I got. Little thing, Jarvis Landry's working out for the Jaguars.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty interesting. Other than that, we can wrap it up.
Yeah. All right. So this one right here is gonna be our last episode for the season. And we're gonna be back around August again. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I think we should talk about when the schedule comes out. The NFL has not confirmed it yet, man. I thought it was gonna be the week before the draft, but that didn't drop. So yeah, so the NFL is down to confirm what date they're gonna drop the schedule. So we'll see about that. I guess we could play it by ear, but until further notice, man, this is right here will be the last episode of this season right here, man. So I'm gonna miss y'all guys till August.
Yeah, we'll see what it looks like when the schedule drops.
Yeah.
Yeah, we come in and do something for the schedule.
Yeah.
I've been talking about it all over Houston. Texans.
Yeah.
That's going to be important.
Yeah.
Their schedule is going to be really important because they play some heavy hitters next year.
We do.
So I think we should come back in, do a surprise episode whenever that schedule drops.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, then, gentlemen. Well, let's wrap up this episode. Thank you for tuning in to the Shield Football Podcast. Like always, please give us a like, a follow, and subscribe to the channel, man. That would be much appreciated. Also, we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Please go ahead and follow us there. But like always, guys, we see y'all when the schedule comes out then. All right. Until then, see y'all. Take care.
Later.
Peace.
Thank you.